If you've ever been told you have dead butt syndrome, lazy glutes, or poor glute activation, maybe you don't feel your glutes as much when you're running, it could be because the exercises that you're doing before your run, such as side steps or clamshells, don't mimic the gait cycle, and therefore they don't have the best carryover into your running form. So today we're gonna fix that. I'm gonna show you 5 of my favorite glute activation exercises that you can do before you're running or when you're strength training. And these exercises are a lot better than those exercises because we're gonna work on how the glutes are actually working when we're running. We're gonna work on the co-contraction of the glutes with the other muscles because our glutes aren't just contracting in an isolated manner. There's over 200 muscles that are contracting when we're running, so this is all happening very quickly. So these exercises are actually gonna allow you to feel that stronger stride, which is really what we're going after. So we're gonna go through 5 of my favorite glute exercises. Now, I don't like to call them glute activation exercises because realistically, our glutes are turned on unless you've had a stroke, traumatic brain injury, or nerve damage to your glutes. You would not be able to stand or walk unless your glutes are activated. So instead of using that, I'm just gonna tell you that they're most likely weak and these exercises are going to strengthen them. And we're gonna do this by working on the co-contraction of the glutes because our glutes aren't just working in isolation when we're running. There's over 200 muscles working when we're running. So therefore our glutes are turning on at the same time as our hamstrings and our calves and our quads at times. So we're gonna actually mimic the gait cycle with these exercises. So I would suggest you do them either before you're running or with your next strength workout. As a physical therapist, I've helped over 7,000 runners return to pain-free running, and never once have I used the side steps or the clamshells to work on that glute activation. And every time I show a runner these exercises, they are always amazed at how much stronger their stride feels. So let's get into it. The first exercise, we're gonna work on one of the biggest co-contractions when we're running, and that is when we are pushing off the ground as our glutes are contracting with our hamstrings and our calves. So the whole goal of this co-contraction is that we are trying to achieve the same goal, which is really just pushing us off the ground as quickly as possible. So all you're gonna do, you need a wall and you need a mat. You're gonna lay on your back here, and I'm gonna put both feet into the wall. So all I'm gonna do is put one foot on the wall and one knee closer to my chest. Now I'm gonna lift my pelvis up using my glutes and hamstrings, and then I'm going to lift my heel up off the wall. As I do that, I'm doing all of this at the same time. So it's lift, hold, 1, 2, and relax down. Slow and controlled movement here. I'm really just focusing on keeping my pelvis nice and level, and I'm making sure I'm not pushing my elbows into the ground. This is cheating. So lift up, hold, 1, 2, relax down. You can always try that for about 10 reps each side. I like to hold 2 to 3 seconds at the top, just so you're not rushing through it and really just like hyperextending your low back to lift your pelvis up. So that's why I like to keep it nice and controlled. And adding that isometric at the top is a great way to just emphasize that co-contraction. For the next exercise, we are gonna use a foam roller. You can also use a yoga block. And we're gonna work on the co-contraction of the glutes with the adductors. So both of these muscles help to work us into hip extension, which basically helps us push off the ground. I'm gonna have my bottom knee bent and under me. I'm gonna lay on my side and I'm gonna place my top knee on the foam roller. So it's basically the inside of my knee is on the foam roller and my foot is against the wall. This is very important. Lay on the ground. So all you're gonna do, it's a 2-step process. We're gonna do it at the same time, but I'm gonna break it up first. So you're gonna push your knee straight down into the foam roller. You should feel your adductors turn on, and then you're gonna push your foot back into the wall. So it's an isometric of the adductors and the glute max. Now, ideally you're doing this at the same time. So push down, push back, hold 5 to 10 seconds, push, 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 and relax. Very important that you're not dumping your pelvis forward in order to get you into hip extension. If you find that you are, so I like to just put my hand on my pelvis, make sure it's not moving forward. If you find that you are, go ahead and just bring your butt back closer to the wall and then see if that helps. It should help because I don't want you emphasizing a pelvic tilt in order to basically mimic hip extension. We want to use our glutes with this one. So push down, push back, hold 5 to 10 seconds, do this about 10 reps, And I really do encourage you to do this on both sides so you can start to compare if one side feels weaker than the other. Real quick, if you want a full strength plan that is specific to running, that includes these co-contractions and includes everything that you should be doing outside of running, including strength, stability, mobility, and power, so you can run faster, run stronger, and prevent injuries, I recommend going through my 12-week runner strength program. I will link it below. It's helped thousands of runners, and it really helps clears up and takes the guesswork out of what exactly you should be doing. Each workout takes about 45 minutes. You can do it at home, you can do it at the gym, and it has proven results with runners of all experiences. So I really made sure that these exercises are super specific to running. So if you like these exercises so far, make sure you check it out below. For the third exercise, we're gonna work on the co-contraction of the glute max with the hamstring. So you're gonna need a wall again. You're probably noticing a theme here because we need to keep that foot in closed chain in order to mimic the gait cycle, which really just means we need our foot to be fixed on a surface. So all you're gonna do is place one foot on the ground, one foot is on the wall. So my knee is bent here. I'm making sure my pelvis isn't tipping forward. Otherwise, we're just mimicking hip extension, which we don't wanna do because then our glutes won't be as strong. And so your pelvis is in a neutral position here. You're sitting nice and tall, and you're pushing your foot that's into the wall. You're just pushing it straight back into the wall. So it's an isometric hold. Push about 5 to 10 seconds, and then you'll relax down. You might also feel this in the standing leg. That's perfectly fine. I just wanna make sure that as you push, you're really pushing hard throughout the entire time. Again, we're working on that co-contraction of the glutes and the hamstrings, so you should feel it in your glute max and your hamstrings. If you need to, you can always put your hand on your butt. Make sure you feel that muscle contract and then relax down. For the fourth exercise, you're gonna need a foam roller. You can also use a block. And I'm gonna place my feet, so the ball of my foot on both sides and my toes. I'm gonna place it on the foam roller and I'm just gonna lay on my back. Now from this position, I'm gonna make sure that the foam roller is not too close to my butt here. From this position, all I'm gonna do is lift my pelvis up. As I lift up, I will feel the co-contraction between my calves, my glutes, and my hamstrings, and then relax down. Hold about 5 to 10 seconds. I will warn you that this one is difficult, okay? So this one, don't be surprised if things start to shake. As you lift your pelvis up though, make sure your heels stay lifted the entire time. That's gonna really contract the calves, which we really want to work in this as well as the glutes. And then you're gonna lower down. Now, if this is way too difficult for you, you can bring your feet closer to your butt and then lift up. Or if you want a progression, you can always move that foam roller further away from your butt and then lift up. Just make sure you're keeping your heels lifted as high as you can the entire time and relax down. I do recommend starting with about 5-second hold, maybe 5 to 6 times, because this one can make you very sore. Again, this is a hard one, so don't be surprised if things start to shake or you find it difficult. For the last exercise, we're gonna put all this together. So you need either a book or a yoga block, and you're gonna put this on the ground. Now, this exercise really mimics what we call mid stance of gait. So that's actually when one foot is on the ground and the other leg is swinging through, and it's just a little bit more in front than the leg that's on the ground. So it's usually looking something like this. Now, when we are in this mid stance position, our glute max is turned on to its max contraction. It is not turned on to its max contraction when we're back here in the gait cycle. That's like the momentum part of when we're in mid stance. So this one, you will feel it in your glutes, your hamstrings, you'll feel it in your adductors, you'll feel it in your foot. So this one just puts like everything together. I love it. So all you're gonna do, take your sock off, fold your sock up, fold it about 2 to 3 times, and I'm just gonna place it under my arch. You don't want it to be too thick, so make sure you just have a little bit of sock under that arch. Now all you're gonna do here, stand on the block, and first, so it's 2 steps here. First, keep that knee slightly bent, push your big toe down into the ground that's on the block, push your pinky toe down, and make sure your glutes are loaded. So slight bend in the knee, you're keeping this position the entire time. Tap this front leg forward and backwards. Slow and controlled. You are not just doing this. That will defeat the purpose. So start by tapping it forward and backwards. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, the next step to tie this all together is we're gonna add in the arm swing. So instead of adding it in like we're running, we're gonna add it in with elbows completely straight and a reciprocal arm swing just like we would when we're running. So when our right foot's in front, our left arm is in front. Really emphasize this arm swing. This is gonna help you with your glute contraction. Here, 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 slow and controlled. You can see the pace I'm doing this at. If I'm doing it fast, it defeats the purpose. Do it nice, slow and controlled. You'll feel your glute light up on the leg that is not moving. Really emphasize this arm swing back and forward so you can get into that good hip extension. Now, the killer here is that you're doing this for 30 seconds and eventually you're progressing it into 2 minutes. This one is a great one to just tie everything together. If you have foot and ankle issues, if you have knee issues, if you have hip issues, highly recommend mastering this exercise. So today we really talked about how we can strengthen the glute max and use it when we are running more. Now, there's other glute muscles, such as the gluteus medius muscle. Maybe you've heard of it. This is a super important muscle too. We really didn't talk about it. The last exercise does work on the gluteus medius, but you need more hip stability than just what one exercise will offer. So in my next video, I'm gonna show you 3 other gluteus medius exercises that are better than the traditional clamshell. So I'll see you in the next video.